Worst feelings a parent is seeing your child sick. And abdominal pain is relatively common, but it can be caused by an array of issues. And sometimes it's difficult for them to pinpoint the cause. Dr. Gigi Youngblood sees this a lot in her office. She joins us now this morning with some tips and recommendations for parents. Gigi, good morning.
Good morning, Janice. Thanks for having me.
It's good to talk to you too, and as a parent you do, especially when the child can't describe exactly what's going on. But you say one of the most common that you see is actually constipation, right?
It really is. It is such a common issue in pediatrics, but it's one of those things, we're Southerners. We don't really talk about that. You may not realize that that's actually the first thing you should check if your child's complaining about abdominal pain is talk to them about, hey, when was the last time you went to the bathroom? Tell me more about it. Was it hard? Did you get everything out? So I guess that's not really coffee talk in the morning, but it is the number one call.
But what is happening to the body when that is happening and a child cannot go to the bathroom?
Issues. So one of the most common causes that we see is dehydration. So, pushing water, make sure your child's getting plenty of fluids, but water is really the best in that situation. And I mean, most of us, the typical kid diet, if you look at any kid's menu in a restaurant, very carbohydrate heavy.
Yeah.
So there's not a ton of fruits and veggies that kids, will consistently eat several times a day. So that certainly contributes to it. And
that happens for adults when they don't drink enough water. So that makes sense. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and the other thing too is the pain's really vague. Your child's not going to come to you and say, "Hey, mom, I feel constipated." They're generally going to complain of abdominal pain right around the belly button. Sometimes it gets a little worse if they try to eat, so they may start to lose their appetite. That's usually when it's pretty far along, though.
All right, so we had been, while you were talking, we had put up one of the graphics that talked about when it is time to go seek more help and go to an emergency room, perhaps. But you said fever, of course, and what do you mean by focal pain?
So this would be, the kind of that classic appendicitis, right lower quadrant pain. A lot of these issues that are on that list are things that, you could start with your primary care doctor, especially if it's during regular office hours. Mm-hmm. But, let's say, and kids always, wait until late at night to complain about things. But let's say that, your child comes to you and they're really complaining of, some intense pain. One of the quick things you can do at home is ask them to jump up and down. If they can jump up and down 2 or 3 times, it can probably wait until the morning, especially if their fluids down. But if they can't keep fluids down, they've got a high fever, 101, 102, 103. They have, really intense pain that's localized to one area of the abdomen, and you ask them to jump up and down, and they maybe try one time, and then they're doubled over and refusing. That's probably reasonable to head to the ER at that point in time.
I mean, obviously you want to catch something early if there's something else going on, and that's why you wouldn't want to wait too long, I guess.
Right.
All right, so final advice for any parents this morning who, and ages can be different too. Of course, as children age, they can talk to you more about things, but I mean, what about really little bitty ones who can't even really tell you much at all?
Again, watching that intake, if they can tolerate fluids without vomiting them up immediately, you can usually wait. And it doesn't mean that every child that's vomiting needs to go straight to the emergency room. But, if you can't keep any fluids down, it might be at least worth a call to your pediatrician's office. And most of us have that after hours access with where you can speak to a pediatric nurse after hours. And they can kind of help talk you through your particular situation.
And at some point, I guess they would point you to a GI doctor for children, right?
Right. But please, please, please start with your pediatrician. Belly pain is one of the most common things we handle and deal with. And we can really initiate that workup with fabulous pediatric GI doctors in town. But they stay really busy, and we can help initiate that workup to determine how urgent you need to see that GI doctor. And a lot of times it's constipation, and we can fix that.
All right, good advice. It happens to everybody at some point in time. All right, Dr. Gigi Youngblood, thank you for being with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Jan.
All right, good to see you.